Reiki, the transference of universal energy from one person to another through the hands. A spiritual healing technique that works on the 7 chakras every person has in their body.
Oh, hi there. I'm Max McCauley. And this is Bob the Tiger. Say hi, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Now, I was first introduced to Reiki a couple years ago when my friend Emily became a practitioner. At the time, I had the same thought a lot of people had when they first hear about Reiki. So I told her, if doing Reiki gets you to a good place and makes you happy, more power to you. But to me, well, it's just kind of new age bullshit. It's a couple years later now, and since then, I've noticed Reiki starting to pop up everywhere. A few centers opened up in nearby towns. Friends of mine started pursuing it. And Reiki was even offered at my college as a way of reducing stress during exams. So I decided I'd give it a try myself. But first, I wanted to do some more research into what exactly it is that Reiki does. So I went to the definitive source of Reiki knowledge. Or I could just ask a Reiki master.
I hear it often said that Reiki helps relax you. And those are the benefits of Reiki. That is true, but that is the most simplistic form of Reiki. I have actually seen things that people would call miraculous kind of healing. The benefits are balanced energy. Already your body heals more naturally. You're not carrying around stress. Better than anything as far as preventative medicine, bar none. Little Reiki and you don't even get to the level where you get sick any longer.
Today I went and got Reiki for the first time. It was kindly given to me by Emily, the friend who first introduced me to it. Emily gave me Reiki for 20 minutes. She worked her way through the various hand positions, each one focusing on different chakras and parts of the body. And finally, at the end, she sprinkled me with fairy dust. Or at least that's what it looks like. I'm not really sure. But when Emily was doing Reiki on my head, I felt these really intense tingles in my face, which is supposed to be how someone who isn't really in tune with their energies would feel Reiki. But for all I know, those tingles may have just been the sexual tension. After the Reiki, I definitely feel more relaxed, I feel good, I feel positive, which is different for me because I'm a very negative person. But I'm not ready to say whether or not I believe in it yet. This was just a 15-minute Reiki session, and this was my first time. And apparently with longer Reiki sessions, and the more you do it, the more apparent the Reiki will become, and you can really feel the energies going through you. But Bob, I'm curious. Do you have to believe in Reiki for it to affect you? I guess what I'm asking is Reiki like Santa Claus?
You don't have to believe in it for it to work. You don't have to have a higher level of consciousness for it to work. It is not associated to any religion whatsoever.
One of the greatest benefits of Reiki is that it releases blockages of energy in your body. But that begs the question.
What is a block? It's energy that's trapped in a particular area. So it's just as if you hit yourself. And so a physical block is maybe a lot of blood coming to a particular area and doesn't allow the flow. It's inflamed. It doesn't allow the flow of blood to go down to your foot. So that's a block as far as a physical block. So in energy, it's kind of the same thing, except the way energy works is if you have an emotional thing happen to you when you're young, and it depends on your belief system, but from one life to the next, you can also carry these things over. But so throughout a lifetime, I don't know, you fall, you hurt yourself, or you were punished for something, or you got in a little fight with someone, or your first girlfriend breaks your heart. These little things that are emotional, you take them and you place them in one of your chakras. There's 7 chakras. So depending on where it is, maybe it's heartbreak, you place it here. And so after a while, after years, it becomes a block because you don't know how to release it. So we're not taught here how to release those things. Push on and everyone keeps going forward and forward. So blocks are created, or if you're not trusting your intuition, many different reasons why there could be a block. Over time, it can become a disease or an illness or an ailment. There's also blocks in our overall energy.
Since I was still in doubt after my first session, I asked Emily to get me an appointment with Berta, her Reiki master. When I left this morning for the Reiki session, I wasn't feeling that great. I was nervous and feeling a little sad, but after getting Reiki, I was very relaxed. I wasn't worried about anything. Even the everyday problems that usually bother me weren't an issue. I think the best way of describing it was that I felt completely at peace. But I was still the most surprised that I was able to sit still for an hour. Whenever I've tried to meditate before, it hasn't really worked out well. I've fallen asleep or just generally gotten bored and done something else instead. But when Reiki was being done to me, I was able to lay still for a whole hour, while normally meditating for 5 minutes is a challenge. Little did I know that while I was relaxing, Berta was reading my energies. And it turns out, you can find out quite a few personal things from doing so.
I get to your heart, then there's, and you have like first chakra, also there's a little bit of stuff in your first chakra and your heart chakra, which relates to anything having to do with love. It's very simplistic though to say just love, but it's in relationships with parents, self-love, others, accepting other people's love, anything that might have broken your heart. This is an incredibly simple way of describing it. And most people have issues of self-love, that kind of thing. So there's, you have a little bit more of a weight there in your heart chakra.
Well, Bob, what do you think of Reiki? Yeah, you're right. Even if the effects I felt weren't because of the transference of life force energy, they still made me feel unanxious, happy, and relaxed. And I didn't even get to experience the miraculous results. I had a good time too, Bob. Even if I don't completely buy the idea of universal energies. Now, say goodnight, Bob.